Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I will be showing you how to transform yourself into a peach fantasy. Essentially, I'm giving you a tutorial on this peachy look. It's very basic cut crease, but with an orangey, warm tones, peachy colour scheme. So if you're anything like me and you love that colour scheme, then all you have to do is keep on watching. So I created this makeup look for like a competition, a contest, where on Smalovana's Instagram. Smalovana is one of my favourite Polish YouTubers. She, during the quarantine, is trying to inspire people to just practice makeup, and then she gives like certain themes. This particular look was for the peach inspiration. I actually was one of the people that was picked out as one of the winners kind of thing. This is the makeup look I created. A lot of people really enjoyed that look. In fact, my dear friend Magda has asked for a tutorial. Here it is. This one's for you, Magda, and for anybody else who wants that peachy, sophisticated, quite a basic look, but very, very nice. Okay, so as always, I brushed through my brows. I will be priming my lids. I'm just going to go for Collection Lasting Perfection concealer. I use concealers as bases. Sometimes I'll use an eye primer, but it doesn't really matter. Just prime with whatever you want. You want to prime because it's going to give you a very nice look. After carving my brow out and putting some concealer on my lid, I always take a fluffy brush and blend the concealer in. This takes away too much tackiness, and as we can see, it blends in the concealer into the skin at the front and at the end, so when we do have foundation, it's not just like foundation, concealer. We do now have a nice blank canvas rather than a veiny, discoloured lid. What I am using today is the Jaclyn Hill palette volume 2. This isn't vegan, the new formulation isn't vegan, just letting you know. I don't mind that much. I'm not a vegan. I'm going to start off with a very fluffy brush, and I'm going to go straight in with probably my favourite shade in this palette, Positivity, the peachy shade. It's like an orangey pink, and then I'm going to put this in my crease. I first kind of stamp the colour, but because this is fluffy, it's not like giving me any harsh lines, and it's actually a lot easier to then start blending. As you can see, the blending brush isn't too big for my eye. It's about 1/3 of the space of my lid. If it was like a very, very big brush, I wouldn't have too much control over it, especially when applying. So you want something that you can blend with, but you know where the eyeshadow is gonna go. By the way, everyone's at home, so apologies if it's too like loud. So right now, I feel like this is way too pink. So I'm going to dip into No Joke, which is the yellow shade, and then just add a little bit of this in there as well. This will make it even more neon, but that's kind of what you want first, before we add in the darkness. So I'm adding a little bit more vibrancy to this look, and now we can take our brownie colours to add more depth. Now I'm going to take Homebody. I'm just going to do it all on the same brush, just a little flick with your finger or a tap, taking excess amount off, and I'm adding it on the outer third of my eye in like a wing formation. I will be sharpening that out anyway, so it's fine if it's messy. And I take Homebody into the crease as well. And now, because I've used so much eyeshadow in this brush, I can no longer use it to blend everything in. I need a clean blending brush. A very fluffy one will do. You're not picking up any more eyeshadow on this. You're just using it to diffuse the edges. Actually, you know what? I'm going to dip that brush into Positivity the tiniest bit. It's barely on there. Tapping excess off and just blending everything in. A little bit of No Joke. Okay, perfect. That's what I wanted. I'm taking that brush again, the first one, the one I applied eyeshadow with. I didn't take any more. I'm just using what's in the brush to blend in a little bit more, and then final blend. The more you blend, the nicer the eyeshadow will look, the happier you will be with the final thing. What we're going to do now is cut the crease. So I'm taking a flat brush. This is very important. You need a flat brush because it will help you stamp out a nice perfect cut crease. So I'm taking that concealer I used to prime and I'm taking it on that flat brush. I'm using my lid and my crease to my advantage, and you do want to cut the crease, even though it's a half cut crease, you do want it on like about the 2/3 of your eye. And after applying the concealer, because it's quite heavy still on the lid, I do like to take that initial fluffy brush that I used to tap in the concealer, and I'm just taking that tackiness off again. If your eyeshadows are good, they will stick regardless, and if they're not good, there are ways to help them stick. In fact, to make it very nice and opaque and foily, and to get that effect, I'm going to take my brush. I'm taking Ride or Die. It's a beautiful, beautiful colour. It has a lot of like almost glitter bits in it, and to get that glittery effect, I take a spray bottle with some water. This is Beauty Formula's Body and Face Cooling Mist. So you actually don't have to use a setting spray. A little bit of water in a cup, just anything. I like to use this because it's a spray bottle, so it's a little bit more precise. And then I take Ride or Diamonds. Did I call it Ride or Die? Ride or Diamonds. I'm putting that on my lid. This has a very sheer base, but has a lot of sparkle. And as you can see, when I look straight ahead, I can still sort of see my cut crease. I always cut it above my crease because it makes my eyes appear bigger. Okay, let's blend this in. I'm taking Homebody on my fluffy brush. And the advantage of using this brush is that it can blend as you apply. Tap, 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 very delicately. You can tell I'm holding it very loosely and I'm blending it in. And as you can see, I've blended it in at an angle. It blends in nicer, it gives you a nicer effect, a more sophisticated effect. It looks intentional, it looks like you know what you're doing. And now I'm going to take Positivity again on the same brush, and I'm just blending that in a little bit further in, however on top of Homebody as well. And finally a little bit of the yellow No Joke. This yellow is no joke, it's very pigmented, so make sure you're not using too much. So now I've got this peachy orangey fantasy. It's time to deepen it a little bit. So I'm taking another fluffy brush, taking a little bit of Temptress. It is black, guys, so be very, very gentle. If you don't want to add black, just use a very, very dark brown. And again, as you can see right now, it looks patchy because I am using such a light hand. In fact, because I don't feel comfortable with applying straight up black, I'm going to mix the black with a little bit of Grateful. It seems to be a little bit darker than Homebody. And then I'm gently just blending all of this in, just making it nice and smoky. It already looks amazing. I love peachy colours. Peach is my favourite colour in the world. So I've added black. just a little bit. It made almost like an espresso brown. And I'm going back to my main brush. I'm going to call it my main brush. And I want to blend it in. I want to blend that black in. And now there's two things we need to do. Is to add an accent on the crease. And I'm going to be doing that with my Collection Glamise Crystals Dazzling Gel Liner in Funk. This is my go-to. So I take a glittery liner and I make a very thin line, just one layer to accent the cut crease. You don't have to. It's glittery and sparkly and shimmery enough, but as you can see, it makes it even more. And I don't blend this in, it just kind of stops because it's glitter. It doesn't have an actual demarcation of where it stops. And now, one of my favourite cheats in makeup. I've got some makeup remover on my cotton round. I'm folding it in half and following the natural kind of shape. So I'm lining it diagonally from my outer corner to my brow, like that, and swipe up. And now I have a perfect shape. Okay, I'm going to do the other eye off camera and I will be right back. Okay, other eye is done. It's time to do the base. I'm somewhat going to whiz through this because you've already seen me put foundation on and stuff like that. For my foundation today, I want to use my Sephora Matte Perfection foundation. I do have the shade 22 and it's a little bit too dark for me, so I will be using my Revolution Pro lightening drops to lighten the foundation a little bit. Alright, my favourite step, bronzing the face. And to do that, I'm of course going to use the Revolution Matte Base Concealer in 13.5. With a makeup like this, you can get away with bronzing a lot. For my under eye, I'm going to stick with Collection Lasting Perfection. And now I'm going to powder with RCMA No Colour Powder. Time to blush. I think blush will tie everything together, so don't skip this step. You'll know if you've been here for a while. One of my favourite ways to blush my face is to use eyeshadow. I'm going to take a quite fluffy brush and I'm going to take Positivity. Obviously try and avoid all the other shades around it. Oh, so good. And I'm actually going to dip into No Joke just to make it even more vibrant. I'm going to mix that concoction on the back of my hand and I blush tops of my cheekbones as if I'm highlighting with blush, and like tops of my apples as well, and then a little bit on the bridge of my nose as well. And for my highlighter, I'm using Rose Gold Glow from I Heart Revolution, so I can highlight my face, my nose, my cupid's bow, my inner corner and my brow bone. But before I focus on my lower lash line, I need to do my brows, and as always I will be using eyelid pomade in blonde to fill them in. Okay, I'm going to take somewhat a flat brush. This is just ever so slightly fluffy, and I'm going to pick up Positivity and I'm going to put this on the whole of my lower lash line. And you've guessed it, I'm taking that same brush and dipping into No Joke, blending that in here as well. You want this particular two shades quite low down. Okay. And now I'm going to take some of Homebody. I'm putting that closer to my lash line. Just blending that in. But I'm only putting that halfway. And now the final thing is to take a little bit of black and mixing in a bit of Grateful so we get like an espresso shade. And I basically want to join the lower and upper lid, and I'm only doing that on the outer third. And that is it for the eyes. let's put some mascara on, let's do some lashes, and I will be right back for the lips. Okay, I went with like a super natural lash today. I love this look. Okay, time to do the lips. I think the concoction I had on my lips when I did that look initially was a mixture of these two. This is Nude Beach from Jeffree Star and Yes Ma'am from Jeffree Star. Mainly this, a dash of this. Okay you guys, so here it is. This is my final peachy fantasy makeup look. I hope you like it as much as I do. I love wearing peach on my eyes as my clothes. I just love peach. Funny enough, I'm not a fan of the fruit. The hair on the skin annoys me a little bit. I prefer nectarines, which are pretty much the same thing without the hair. But regardless of whether I like peaches or not, I like this look and I hope you do too. I hope you recreate it. If you do, make sure to tag me so I can give it a little bit of love. As always, I hope you have enjoyed that. If you did, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. You are the best. I hope to see you next time.